Hey, what's up guys, it's me again and welcome back to my channel Mayta What Ifs. Today I am back with a new story. The name of this story is What If Naruto Was Blessed by Inari, and yeah guys, it is an unscripted story. Now before continuing this, shout out is due where it is due. Shout out to Jimmy Setais for suggesting this idea. He suggested this in the comment section of Apollo Uchiha channel, but I thought it would be best if I make the idea here since I like the idea. Anyways, I have made a minor changes, so I hope he doesn't mind, and I hope you guys enjoy today's story as well, and stay tuned for Apollo Uchiha upload as well. I will upload there soon, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe to both of my channels, and without any further ado, let's begin with our today's story. Our story begins with a young god named Inari in the Shinto pantheon, the god of fertility, land, prosperity, pranks, as well as a lot of other things that were related to human and their survival. As he was quite good at one thing, and that was to make people laugh, and his siblings laugh, which was Kami, Yami, and Shinigami. They had their own domains, and the rest of the domains were basically shoved on to the youngest one. But since he was, well, quite keen of being a prankster, he would usually go on to prank their own disciples, as well as their followers, and even sometimes them. It got to the point where sometimes he went way too much overboard with his pranks, and it got the better of his siblings, who were at one point so enraged that they wanted to hurt him but controlled themselves. And having had enough for eons of his pranks, they decided they needed to punish their little siblings for his continuous behavior. So one night while his immortal body rested, Yami captured the soul of Inari and gave it to Hagoromo. For a few thousands of years, the soul of Inari will live on as Kurama, the nine-tailed fox that was going to be created after the separation of the 10 tails into 9 bijus. And one of them will be Fox. Of course, Inari won't remember any of his memories and would continue to live on as Kurama. Everything was going smoothly for a few hundred years until the clan warring era appeared, and that is when a shinobi from Senju clan rose, known as Hashirama Senju, and created his own village with his rival known as Madara Uchiha. And henceforth the elemental nation age began. And once it began, he captured the bijus and began to distribute it to the other nations. But Kurama was still out there, so the siblings were quite fulfilled with that. But everything changed when both of the friends turned on each other and fought their battle on a land. As one of them, with his cursed eyes, was able to even gain control of their brother, and this pissed the three gods off to the point they wanted to intervene, but due to their own laws set by them, they couldn't, as they witnessed that for the first time their brother too was enslaved, and they were not happy about this, not once bit, because this wasn't what they agreed upon. They wanted their brother to have a little bit of punishment as a prank, but not this, not enslavement. And so time began to pass by, and more 100 years passed. And that is when we see Kushina Uzumaki became the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, as the people called it, the Nine Tails demon, and were quite unaware why there was so distress as well as depression amongst the shinobi nations, because the three gods were pissed at them for treating their brother with such mistreatment. While on the other side, Inari was still unaware of his, well, powers and capabilities, as Kushina was able to find a love for herself in the form of Minato Namikaze, and once that happened, both of them and the people around them deciphered a seal, mainly Minato's sensei Jiraiya, to finally be able to control and manipulate the Kyuubi's power, which Mito-sama herself wasn't able to do. As now we see, Minato, who has just recently become the 4th Hokage, was seated in his office, as his wife was called there as well, and Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Hiruzen was present alongside them. And they have just revealed a way for them to separate the Biju into 3 parts. Are you out of your mind? What do you mean by that, Minato? It is the perfect plan. I mean, Tsunade has made sure that it would be possible for you to have triplets, and once that is done, all we have to do is separate the chakra and the soul and place it into 3 parts, into 3 children. No, not that. That my child, Naruto, is to remain here while we take the other 2 and hide. Why should we do that? Minato, my spy network have picked up something quite interesting and quite Sinister. Some people are forming an organization. We have faced multiple organizations before. Why are you so afraid of this one, Sensei? You don't get it, Minato. This one is to be feared, said Hiruzen, intervening. Why do you say that, Hiruzen-sama? Because their target is only one thing and one thing alone. Each and every Biju. As Minato's eyes widened. So that is why you want Naruto to be left behind. Making him an easy target. A sacrifice. As Kushina also gritted her teeth. Are you out of your mind? I expect this from them, Tsunade, not from you. Don't look at me like that, Kushina. It is for the best. And even for the survival of the clan, some sacrifices are needed to be done. Not this. Uzumakis don't do this. I don't know much about Senjus, but I can see that you're not an Uzumaki. Not even an ounce of Uzumaki blood runs in your veins, because you, if had even a drop of an Uzumaki blood, wouldn't have suggested to this, or even agreed to this. As Kushina then said, I'm done with this. To hell with your plan. I'm not gonna agree to any of this. I won't sacrifice my one child for the others. To hell with this village. Even if the Biju breaks free tomorrow, or those people come and are able to break the Biju, I'll let them, or even help them destroy the fucking village if it ever comes to that. Kushina, are you threatening to turn traitor on us? Said Hiruzen. With all due respect, Hiruzen Sarutobi? Yes, the fuck I am. As with that being said, Kushina walked out. As all of them began to look and glare at Minato, Kushina is out of her mind, Minato. You need to realize one thing, said Minato as he stood up. As the acting Kage now. You suggesting this, I can put bounty on all of you and place you as traitors. You three are the most closest allies I have. And you are the one suggesting me such a sinister plot against my own child? I'd rather die than do that. As now we see, Minato too walked out. As after that, the three of them were left in shock. Now what, Jiraiya? Your plan failed. I have other idea, and this might work. It seems, unfortunately, Minato's wish must have to come true. As, unfortunately for the three of them, gods were watching this, and they have called for Hagoromo himself. As now we go towards the Council of the Gods, where one throne was empty, as it was the throne of Inari, their little brother. Greetings, Kami-sama, Yami-sama, Shinigami-sama. To what do I owe the pleasure of this meeting? This meeting has been called because the people that you also call the people of choice that you chose by giving chakra to them, they are causing violence and grief to not only our brother, but also the one who carries our brother and her family, and I cannot allow this to happen. Such a sinister plot, said Yami, the god of revenge. As he then said, even I won't help in aid of revenge in such case against a student of his own. Destroying his family, plotting the death of his own student? I can't. As Shinigami then said, there is a deepest pit of hell that I have made especially for people like this and haven't still used. I guess they will be the first one to be sent there after they die. What do you want for me to do? Said Hagoromo after realizing that the gods were pissed beyond belief, and the people that he chose have made grave mistakes when pissing them off, especially the people of Konoha where the child of prophecy was soon going to be born. And so, now we see Kami then said, it is by the order of the council of us. You are to free our brother's memories that has been sealed away by your seal. I will do as you please. And so, now we see, the night of October 10th came, and many things went as according to the plans of the three, Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Hiruzen. Tsunade was, well, easily able to slip in through Mikoto Uchiha, a drop into the drink of Kushina that allowed her to have triplets and make it seem like it was natural. As after that, all that was needed to be done was to make sure Kushina conceived them and Minato was taken out so that Jiraiya would be the only one able to cast these seals. Kushina would be a problem, but due to her weakened state and Tsunade being there, she would be able to take care of this. As for why Tsunade was doing this, well, because of anger, hatred towards Kushina for what she has said, insult, because of her ego, she was doing this. She wanted to show that girl that she needs to respect some elder people here. And Jiraiya, he had no other choice. He was too hell-bent on prophecy, and he knew he would be able to create a perfect child of prophecy. Quote unquote create here. As now we see, the night of October 10th was supposed to be peaceful for the village. As far away from Konoha, in a secluded location, was Minato pacing back and forth, and behind the room was Kushina and some of the nurses that Minato trusted completely. As Kushina finally was able to give birth to the three of the children. But that all changed when a wildcard entered in between their plan. And that was Obito Uchiha, aka Fake Madara, the marksperson. As he kidnapped one of the children and threatened Minato to hand over the Jinchuriki. Obviously, Kushina, making the noble choice, decided it would be best if her children were at least able to survive. In a weakened state, she went towards, well, the person. And after doing so, we see that the man disappeared in a vortex with Kushina, as Minato was able to take the children away and hide them somewhere safe. As soon as he returned to find the masked person, he found out that everyone there in the cave have died, and Kyuubi's chakra was sensed. Kyuubi no Yoko was released. And soon after it was released, it was placed into a genjutsu by the man and ordered to destroy Konoha. Konoha was, well, immediately rushed by the Kyuubi before they could even form a front line. But in the end, they were able to somehow sustain the front line as Minato rushed in with Kamabunta. And as soon as he did, we see that Hiruzen arrived. What the hell, Minato? I thought you had everything under control. Everything was. Until some masked person appeared. Someone must have talked. We're gonna discuss that later. As Hiruzen realized that their plan worked, the contact that they had has appeared and done this. All now they needed to do was to make sure that Minato was looking like he died. Leave this to us. Go hunt down that man. Thanks, Hiruzen-sama, said Minato. As now we see, Minato arrived at the other side of the village where he met face to face with the masked person. But as he was about to engage, someone stabbed him from the back. And it was Jiraiya. I'm sorry, Minato, but you need to go. Sensei. Why? You don't realize. The whole world's responsibility relies upon my choice tonight. I have to create the perfect child of prophecy to train, to make sure that he bears the burden of this world. And I'll make any sacrifice needed for it to be possible. Even you. As Minato fell face first to the ground. I hope you realize what you are saying, Jiraiya. You have fulfilled your mission. I will hand you over Naruto as soon as the sealing process is done. You don't need to worry about anything. As Tsunade appeared there, with a blooded kunai of her own, Kushina has been dealt with, she said with a serious look on her face. As that is when, having had enough, Hagoromo intervened and freed Kyuubi from the genjutsu and stopped the time. And as soon as it did, we see that Kurama then said, Father? I'm not your father, Kurama-sama. Or should I say Inari-sama? What do you mean by that? It's time I free your whole memories. And as soon as Hagoromo did this, Inari's eyes widened as Kurama morphed into his immortal form. As now we see a bright light emerge as Inari was standing in front of him, enraged. Do you have any idea, Hagoromo Suzuki, what I have went through, what I have endured? I will take care of my siblings later for this mess. But as for you, the one who caused this, how are you going to repay? I apologize. I will repay you however you wish to be, but right now, the children's life are in danger. The whole village is out to get them. What do you mean? Remember from Kurama's memories. And Inari looked into Kurama's memory side and was shocked to find the heinous incidents that has already taken place. I can't believe these people, said Inari with disgust. As after that we see the light went out in the whole village as a bright light emerged and landed in front of the people as Hagoromo disappeared, as Hiruzen, Jiraiya, and Tsunade stood in front of the figure as the three children floated towards it. Who are you? And what are you doing to the Force legacy? I am the god, Inari, and you have, for the last time, enraged me to the no point of return. You not only wish to harm these three children, but you have also killed the fourth Hokage, as you call him. and his wife. Two sacred souls who were supposed to be the parents of these three. You have killed them. And I, as the god, am going to curse you for once. No longer shall the land of Konoha be known for prosperity. No longer shall your land be known for its fertility. You are all cursed by me. I denounce you. Forever here will be raining hell. You will wish for death, but you will also wish for salvation. But none shall come to you, unless it is in the form of the most painful matter. And with that said, Inari taking the child disappeared. As in an instant, every one of them felt the tree around surrounding them begin to die out. The bodies of Minato and Kushina were also not to be found. As that is when Gamabunta then said, "You idiot! Jiraiya, do you know what you have done?" "What have I done?" "We have to find that person, Gamabunta, not now. That person was Inari himself, the god of fertility, land, and prosperity, and he has cursed you and this place. We, the Toads, are cutting off our contract with you. So are we, Hiruzen and Sarutobi." And one by one, each and every summoning clan cut it off, their contracts with them. Even the Inuzuka hounds, who have been loyal and serving their partner and clan, decided to migrate and leave the Inuzukas because they knew that this place has been cursed and they didn't want any part of this. They were at least this much smart. And once the news was released to the whole village, they too were shocked. As now we go towards the council chamber, where we see Hiruzen, Jiraiya, and Tsunade were literally cornered and insulted beyond any belief. And Danzo, he was given the mentality of the Hokage. As now we go towards Hiruzen's hideout, where we see the three of them talking. "What the hell, Jiraiya? I thought you had a perfect plan." "I thought I did too, but I didn't knew that we would be literally facing a god who would be trained as us. Looks like it is. Now what to do? We lost our clans, and not only that, a lot of other things. Maybe it's just a hoax. Gamabunta and the others are just scared, that's all. Only years will tell what's to come." As now we see, Inari was left with the three kids and didn't know what to do with them. He, on one point, wanted to go and have a chat with his siblings, but knew that he was left with the three of them. He, and the form of Kurama, was closest to them when they were just a fetus. He witnessed them turn into full human beings. He couldn't just abandon them. He had a kinship to them. As one might say, imprinted on them, as a mother would on her little ones. "I won't abandon them, Kushina, Minato. Even if you didn't understand me, I realize it was because you were surrounded by buffoons, and you only listened to them, and only in that when you realized that you were betrayed by them, you apologized to me. I won't let you down." As after that, Inari sensed the most of the peaceful and pious nations, and it was none other than Kumo. So he decided to venture there, and as soon as it arrived, all the Bijus were attracted towards it instantly alongside the Jinchurikis, as well as the monks. As Raikage and his army were now in a defensive position and aiming towards the Inari god, as the three children hover behind him in a bubble, we see that the monks appeared and bowed down to him. "All hail God Inari, the god of prosperity, pranks, children, fertility, as well as land. To what do we owe the pleasure of your blessings and your presence here, my lord? I have come here because of a dire situation. I have sensed that you are the most religious and pious nation. I will bless you all if you do me a favor of taking these three in. These three are my avatars." As hearing this, the monks gasped. My lord, you have vanished for such a long time, and now you have three avatars?" "Yes, the three of them would be blessed by me. The girl will be blessed with golden touch. Whatever she touches will turn gold. Prosperity will follow this village if she is left by it. The child, Menma, would be a genius and would lead this nation to prosperity. And Naruto, the child of prophecy and my true warrior and someone who I'm close to. He will have a part of my power when I was a Biju known Kurama. He will be able to use that power to full and extreme extent without any drawbacks. A limited chakra and a genius mind to boot. But only drawback is He will be a prankster. My ultimate warrior. I bless you and your village with these three. Are you ready to take my blessing in? Yes. We are more than happy to, said Raikage, immediately bowing down alongside everyone else. Good. I hope you won't disappoint. With that said, and a blessing, Inari hugged the three children as a fox pattern appeared in the shoulders of the three triplets. And after that, Inari hoped that this would be enough and Minato and Kushina's soul might be able to rest as Inari departed to having to deal with a little bit of his siblings. As now we see, time began to pass by after that. As Kumo began to become more and more strong and influenced, being able to just draw attraction towards not only from its enemies but from minor villages. On the other side, Konoha was losing every ounce of that faster than it could even imagine. Konoha was now a land of its former glory, nothing more than a shell. Where once reigned greenery was nothing more than now barrenness. Rivers that crossed there have been long dried out or changed their route because of natural disaster, and the fertility rate was zero. Everyone was shocked, and at that moment people realized that it was the real Inari, because they could see that Kumo has been blessed by them. And once Konoha demanded to be handed over the children back in order to make sure the prosperity come to them, Kumo declined. And once that happened, they went to war with Kumo and was defeated to the point they were now nothing more than a minority, a minor village. As now we see Jiraiya, as well as Tsunade, and even Hiruzen was now pacing back and forth, biting their nails just to what kind of entity they messed up with, to the point that they were now the ones in such a dire situation. No, it can't be. I was supposed to create the ultimate child of prophecy, my ultimate trump card. I was supposed to be respected by these vermins, not to be treated like one. As that is when Hiruzen said, "You idiot. We were not supposed to create one child of prophecy. It was already created. We were just supposed to guide the real child of prophecy to prosperity, alongside our nation as well. We have done everything wrong, Jiraiya. Why can't you see that?" As Jiraiya and Tsunade looked down. And not only that, we betrayed Minato and Kushina as well. That is why we are suffering such disasters. All the while, on the other side, Naruto, alongside his siblings, have grown up exponentially. Menma has been helping out, alongside with Mito, in the, council. And the village has been growing up exponentially to the point where at the age of 10, they were capable enough of creating such technologies as well as dealing with such issues that they were head-to-head with now the land of Wind Daimyo in budget values. And they were quite rich and powerful as well as advanced, more than so the Snow Country, and well respected as well, even amongst their allies, fellow nations. And as for Naruto, he was quite strong one as well. He was able to defeat B and in his Biju form, Gyuki, just using his KCM2 state at the age of 10. Without any drawbacks, Naruto was easily able to enter that form, and was even able to create a 9-tailed fox avatar in the golden form with black line and markings over it. As Naruto was now resting with his fellow Genins, whom he had trained with a lot, as B then said, "Why are you resting here, you fool? You should be heading back home by now. Your siblings must have been worried, sick." "I will head there, B-sensei. Just let me rest here for a bit." "Are you getting lazy, Naruto?" said Yujito-ni, one of Naruto's friends and a little bit senior, and also Naruto's crush, because Naruto had a huge crush on her. As that is when we see Karui and Samui then said, "Not so cool, Naruto. I mean, you have us, and yet you still want more. What a greedy boy." As Karui also giggled at that and said so as well, as Naruto was blushing mess, as B then said, young love. "Oi, Bako-sensei, help me out here, please." As after that we see B freeing Naruto from the clutches of three women who liked him, said, "Lucky bastard." Then again, young love it is, right, Yuki? Yep, couldn't agree more with you, B. As now we see B was coming up with a new rap just because he had an idea. He wanted to write a romantic rap, but Naruto Poor Naruto and Gyuki, they had to suffer a lot until they reached the apartment in which the three siblings lived, which was in the center heart of the village. As now we see, as soon as Naruto entered inside, he witnessed that his big brother Menma was reading some books with his goggles on. All the while on the other side, his other sister, his only sister, was cooking some dinner for them. Ah, finally, you're here. And why are your clothes dirty again? Did you train again tonight? Even if we told you not to because you're wearing new clothes? Leave it, Mito. You know how Naruto is. He won't listen to us even if we tell him. Hey, don't be like that. I mean, I usually listen, don't I? No, said both of them in unison as Naruto face faulted to the ground. Seriously, jeez, what is wrong with you? As now we see, Naruto with a snap of his finger created a Moketan wooden chair and sat down on the wooden table. Naruto, we have chairs. Why are you adamant on creating ones? Because I like that. And it's cool. And it makes me look awesome. Ah, show off, said Menma. What are you reading, Nissan? Ah, nothing. Just accounting reports of this month. Seriously, I am amazed that you at my age, our age, is capable of doing such a thing. I mean, it comes natural to me, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. What about you, Nissan? Ah, nothing. Just as usual, creating an atomic reactor. Jeez, that is some dangerous stuff. From what I have heard, it can literally melt humans if it is dropped on a village or so. It can eradicate it. Not just a village. It can eradicate the whole elemental nation if used carelessly. And that is why we're using it deep underwater and only for as a power source. As this is how the siblings' life was going on. And in Kumo, all of them were happy and so was Kumo. As now we go towards Raikage, as he was burning a letter once again, as his assistant Mabui then said, Again, a letter from Konoha? Damn it, that Danzo old coot is demanding that we hand over the children. Even after he lost a war, he's still adamant on it. I mean, what the hell is wrong with that? It's not my fault that Inari-sama cursed them. It was because of their own mistakes. I can't believe it, playing God with the prophecy said by one. I can't hardly imagine just how much pissed off Inari-sama was. Those poor souls must have been... I don't know what could have happened if they were not brought here. As A himself, who has gotten close to the kids, to the point where he sees them as his own, clutched his fist tightly. Nothing would have happened. They're here. They're our kids. They're the children of Kumo. Nothing would happen to them. Whatever happens, Kumo is standing by their side. As we nodded at that. All the while back in Konoha, we go towards a council meeting where we see some of the clans were left, and not only that, the council looked quite sick. The land was filled with famine, and the only crops that they had left had long since dried out. So they were exporting and buying out by sucking up to Daimyo, who was also suffering because of their ignorance. As now we see, a lot weakened and slimmed down, almost looking like a skeleton. Danzo then said, What can we do? No matter how much we try, we can't defeat Kumo head-on. I am sending in letters after letters and yet no response is coming from him. By reality, they are the children of Konoha. They should be here. And as for the three traitors, what are we gonna do about them that caused this mess? Maybe if we sacrifice them to the cause, they might listen to us, said one of the civilians. As one by one all of them begin to agree. Even the mighty clans that have fallen to this state also begin to nod their heads up and right because of the tiredness of the situation. Even if we do, there is no such thing that Inari-sama would listen to us, because Inari-sama has been pissed by them, and whatever we do, it is simply impossible for Inari-sama to listen to our side and explanation. So what do we suggest? Just sit here and do nothing? Oh, unfortunately that is our only choice. We ask for forgiveness and nothing else. And hopefully, the sacrifice of those people who have done this will be able to satisfy the anger. As now we see that Jiraiya, Tsunade, as well as Hiruzen was now captured and hung in the center heart of the village as a sacrifice to the Inari-sama. As Inari, watching this from its throne, was disgusted. I cannot believe these humans. You hate them to the core, right? Of course I do. And you adore one of the villages, Kumo. Why? They are kind, you know. Kind to foxes and many other animals. Even your guiding animals. And that is not all. They have taken in the kids and raised them adorably. And that is something that I respect about them. And that makes me connect closer to them. I guess something like that is also possible for us, right? Yes, of course it is, said Kami. As now we see, back in the land of living, down below, above underneath the heaven, we see that in Amegakure, the Akatsuki were planning a plan of their own. They wanted to get back at the Jinchurikis, but seeing that Kumo in these times was blessed, and they were literally, well, blessed by one god known as Inari. On the other side, Konoha was, well, cursed by it. They knew they had to take out Konoha from the equation, because they are the cursed ones. And once that is dealt with, there might be hopes for peace, and if there isn't, they might have to continue on with their plan. And for the first time, Zetsu wasn't trying to do or intervene anything or force them to go collect Bijus. Why? Because his mother, none other than Kaguya Otsutsuki herself, has contacted him and warned him to not interfere because Inari-sama is pissed. And if Inari-sama gaze fell upon them, the beings that are forgotten by the gods, it will be hell to pay for them. Hell to pay for them all. So that is why Zetsu was quiet. As now we see, on the other side, Orochimaru was planning a thing of his own, and that was to crush Konoha once and for all in this weakened state. And Iwa was also in on this because they were enraged, and Suna was also not happy with how they were treated by Konoha in the past. And so all of them joined forces together, and boom, Konoha was no more. Nothing more than history. All because of arrogance of three people. And once the Akatsuki mission together, the Bijus began. Let's just say they had a rude awakening coming for towards them. And they too were dealt with swiftly by the other remaining nations. And Orochimaru, the only remaining sage, for now after dealing with Konoha, focused on his goal, gaining immortality and rebuilding his nation. Now replacing Konoha as Otogakure, village hidden in the sound. And as for Kumo, it was now the most strongest village and was able to gain a lot of allies in Iwa, Kiri, Suna as well as Oto. And Naruto and the siblings, they were living the best lives that they could ever have, and thanking the god Inari as much as they could. And then Inari himself was pleased by it, and still thought that maybe, just maybe, this wasn't enough to repay Kushina and Minato. Or maybe it was because he adored the kids to death, thinking that they were his own. And Kamiyami and Shinigami obviously saw that their sibling has matured and was happy, also were happy and blessed the kids, making them the most luckiest and happiest kids in the whole elemental nation, and the strongest one as well. As this is where I'm going to be leaving the story of, guys. I know it's quite different from the usual things I make, but I really wanted to make something like this. And the idea given to me by Jimmy was just, icing on the cake. I mean, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is the story that I wanted to make for a long time, but I couldn't just grasp it in my mind. Thank you, Jimmy, for allowing this to happen. I mean, it was quite bugging me for a long time. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And follow me on my other channel, Apollo Uchiha, as well. Stay tuned for the other video there as well. Until then, peace.